Behöver du en bil? Mabe hyrbilar finns på över 150 platser i landet och vi har nästan lika många modeller att välja på. Mabe hyrbilar. Hyrbilar som passar dig.
Hos Bright eSports i Västerås kan du testa på både NASCAR och olika formulabilar, precis som Svenska Eracingligan's deltagare. Gå in på brightesports.com och boka just din tid.
Hello race fans and welcome to Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Bohlin Svenska Eracingligan. We are here for the Female Legends 500 ready to go racing for 208 laps of this iconic oval racing venue. My name is Peter Mackay and joining me today in the commentary box from all that far away from Charlotte Motor Speedway, it's Dylan Coyle. Dylan, a very warm welcome to the programme. What can we expect at this cathedral of speed?
Oh, thank you very much for the warm introduction. Great track, great place. Had a lot of good moments here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Yeah, just a 30-minute drive away from Concord, North Carolina. Mile-and-a-half racetrack that is narrower than you might expect from some of the cookie cutters in the world of NASCAR. A lot of beautiful features at this track, but what we care about is how the racing's going to be, and I'm telling you what, this is going to be one of those tracks where you watch the racing here and you say, man, I wish every track we went to was Charlotte Motor Speedway. Well, that's exactly what a cookie cutter is, right? Not all of them can be with the grace and the allure that this track provides.
And of course, it's got quite a history and quite what shall we say, a heritage of some cinematic marvels like Days of Thunder, Stroke a Race, Talladega Nights. They've all been filmed here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. But already the drivers are getting involved in their qualifying session, and we will be about to go racing in a very short moment here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Getting a qualifying lap in here at Charlotte. Dylan, what's the trick?
I mean, the trick is pretty much in these next-gen Cup cars, and I hate saying next-gen, right? We're already 2 years into this current generation of NASCAR Cup Series vehicles, but what we're going to see here is just making sure that your car stays as planted to that apex, to that white line as possible. There's, even with the repaint that was done quite a few years ago at this point, this track is getting bumpier and bumpier every time that any series visits here. So there are quite a lot of bumps. If you can deal with them, especially through kind of the weird, tricky 3 and 4, you're in a good shape. Look at the starting grid here, and Alexander Arnoldson is on the pole.
That he is, yes. Qualifying is complete, and Arnoldson on pole in the number 24 Camaro from the Camaro of Henrik Lindhoff. Then it's Jesper Eriksson and Michael Havlidissen who will roll off from row 2. Row 3 will be Jonas Gunnarsson. Watch out for him from the third row alongside Kim Nyholm in the Ford Mustang. Row 4 is Tony Oevenen alongside Daniel Solo. Then it's Linus Brostrom and Daniel Holmer. Row 6 will see Vilda Wallen, the sponsor of this race, alongside Lucas Holmeren in his Chevrolet Camaro. On row 7, we'll see Eric Lundberg and Andre Selander roll off together. Then it's Hackenschott and Ostrich Fredriksson with Robert Eriksson and Anton Oman on row 9. Row 10 will consist of the Chevrolet Camaro and the Toyota of Marcus Hagman and Anton Bratberg. Then it's Bjorn Brostrom and his Camaro alongside Kenneth Tier. Then it's Jonas Skoglund alongside Peter Helmbro on the 12th row of the grid. Then starting on row 13, completing our grid, we have Cedric Holmbaum in the Chevy Camaro alongside the equally mounted Robert Erling. 26 cars ready to take the grid here for what is a real marathon race. 208 laps of Charlotte Motor Speedway, 1.5 miles per lap, and we'll be offering out stage points at the 50 lap mark and the 110 lap mark. The difference to what you would see in the NASCAR Cup Series is that we will not throw a caution at those stages. The points are simply handed out with the order at that point. The drivers are lined up behind the iRacing pace truck, ready to go. I'm sure the nerves are jangling right now, Dylan.
Absolutely. Nerves are definitely shot, if you will, at this point. You always get really excited waiting for the green to drop, and the iRacing pace truck is rounding 4. And you know what? How about a trip down pit road for the pace truck, because it's time to get racing here at Charlotte.
It is, yep. And it'll be car number 24, Alexander Arlidsson, who leads us away into racing. The green flag is raised in the air. Green, green, green. Let's go racing in Charlotte. Off they go, down through the tri-oval and down towards the first turn 1. And Arlidsson made a perfect getaway there in the number 24 Camaro with the man of the moment, Jesper Eriksson, who's a fantastic season, F4 winner this season in the Svenska Eracingligan, and of course the master of the ovals with 4 wins on the season. But it's Arlidsson who makes the way there in that number 24 Camaro.
Absolutely great first lap for Arlidsson. Eriksson in behind. I mean, you're talking about him being the man of the moment. He's 31 points back with 1 fewer race starts than the leader in the standings. That's Eric Blixt. I mean, he's been unbelievable. At a per race basis, he's dominating.
He is, yeah. 4 wins on the season, 2 for Eric Blixt and 1 for Michael Haflidason as well. But I'm reliably informed that Jonas Gunnarsson in 4th at the moment with the number 1 on the door. He is quick at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Quite a different layout to what we saw last time out at Indianapolis. They're on that 2.5 mile super speedway as well. So they're making their way through Arlidsson from Eriksson. Then it's Lindorff, Gunnarsson and Haflidason. They are all in the top 5. Now we have 208 laps on the counter and a time limit of 2 hours and 15. So whichever comes first, whether that be 2 hours 15 or 208 laps. If we stay green, we'll get our full 208 laps. But we certainly saw a few yellows towards the end of the race at Indianapolis, Dylan, and I don't envisage it being much different here at Charlotte.
I mean, if we go green the entire way, which I don't think we're going green for 208 laps here at the track in Concord, North Carolina, you're looking at probably 104 or so minutes of racing action, an hour 44. So this is going to be at least a 2-hour race. We're going to probably hit somewhere around that 2-hour point. I don't know. I mean, it depends on how clean this race is, right? 2 hours 15 is definitely in the realm of possibility, especially with the car count in this race. This series always has great car counts, and it makes it even more interesting because there's battles all over the track for first, in the mid-pack, and all the way in the back.
Yeah, 26 cars does make a brilliant combination. We've got all 3 of the current generation. I'm with you, Dylan. I'm with the current generation. Yeah, something that's next can't be next gen if it's been on the track for 2 years. I totally agree with you there. But these current generation NASCARs, we've got the Toyota Camry, the Chevrolet Camaro, and the Ford Mustang. Of course, quite a different machine as well than the outgoing NASCAR. And one of the biggest changes we've seen in modern history of the sport.
Oh, absolutely. It is quite wild how this sport has changed so much over the last, give or take, 2-3 years. I mean, we've gone from 5 lug nut wheels to 1, the actual, material in the wheel itself. It's gone to an aluminum-based material, makes it lighter. It's still a pretty heavy material if you've ever held one of the next-gen wheels, but it is lighter than what it used to be. Not only that, but just having 5 gears in the car instead of 4, and it being sequential shifting, it just changes the game. I think everybody in NASCAR wants more horsepower, except for maybe some of the people making the decisions on what the engine manufacturers and engine builders make and the cars kind of put out. But it's still, I feel like we're done this big learning period. Now it's let's improve the product. It's already in a good spot on these intermediate tracks, but I think everywhere it could be much better.
Well, at the front of the field, it's Arlidsson who is holding the lead from pole position, but has Ericsson right on his tail, and they're making a little bit of just a too small two-car getaway right now, R.R. Lilson and Ericsson. But then you've got a three-car bunch here with Gunnarsson, Lindhoff, and Halflidison as well, with there's two Ford Mustangs in there and one Chevy Camaro as they come around the tri-oval. And tell you what, Dylan, it's amazing the difference here with, Indianapolis. You have that, a bit long, elongated straights, and then this almost slightly squared off corners at the end of the track. But here at Charlotte, it just feels more bullring-like, even though it is a super speedway.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like this track in general, it leads to some great battling. I know 5-6 years ago, there was an all-star race here that they tested out the lower horsepower package. Just there's a slide up through the corner. Could have made some contact there in one. How about some contact on the exit of two? It looks all good. But it's possible. Oh, man, they're getting a little bit messy with each other right here. It's early, boys. Let's calm it down.
Yeah, this is where you got to be so patient, isn't it? Because if you wreck now, that's just race done, and you don't want to be doing that after 12 laps out of a possible 208. Now we expect fuel stint to be 53 to 55 laps, depending on where you've been in the bunch. If you've been the locomotive pulling the train, and we might have our first caution here, because that's a big dump there. And you have to say, Dylan, luckily they both get away with it, but you have to say that was in the post.
Yeah, that was absolutely in the writing there. You couldn't have crafted a more, predictable script, I think you could say, based off the last couple laps. You know how they always like to say, you cannot write a script like this? Well, you definitely wrote that script. I think we both had that in the script of what would happen. But I'm surprised that it was very much a half spin, and I'm also surprised that the caution came out, because usually the iRacing system waits until a car is completely turned the other direction before the caution is thrown, the flag is thrown, and I didn't see that there. So great job from everyone. A little bit messy.
Yeah, just a little bit under caution. You don't want to be hitting people under caution, that's for certain. We do have an incident point limit to worry about. The drivers are allowed 17 incident points before they're given a drive-through penalty. We'll come back to that, because we've got several takers coming down onto pit road 14 laps into this race. So, we thought we would see a maximum fuel length of 53 to 55 laps, but into pit road, several takers here, Dylan.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea either. If you're 14, 13, I'd say 12 green flag laps into a run, might as well top off on fuel. I'm surprised. I'm not too surprised that some of the back are doing this at all. Maybe get some tires for some of the runners here. Obviously, the limit's going to change that. But top off on fuel, it's not a bad idea. I think you can get probably, I'd say 60 to 65 laps on a green flag run with fuel. And the reason that that's the case is because these cup cars, they tend to take a few more laps to run out of fuel on the tank. Probably, I'd say a good kind of margin to go on off of any track with a cup car is 90 miles. Mile-and-a-half track, 60 laps is 90 miles. I'd say with, the older Gen 6 cars, maybe more like 85 miles, and that's what I'd say the Xfinity Series cars are nowadays, those Class B NASCAR race cars. But, I'd say if you can hit 60 laps, you're right on if it's a green flag run. If you can hit 65, you've saved some fuel, and you've done a good job of it. Now, at this point, you really can't tell what the strategy is going to be once we hit that lap 208 counter to mark the white flag lap, but might as well, if you're in the back already, give yourself more options later on and top off.
That's interesting. That is very interesting. Is that additional fuel mileage, do you think, is that coming down to the improved aero of these cars? Can you roll more corner speed with the throttle off, or where's that coming from, do you think, Dylan?
I need to do a little bit of research into that myself because I don't think that the fuel tanks necessarily got bigger, but I will have to figure that out. How about I get back to you on that?
Okay, okay. Well, of course, we do have in this series we have an 80% fuel limit, so we're not going to go to the full. We're not going to go to that full distance. But that's fascinating. That there's another, yeah, sort of 5 laps in the tank on these new cars.
And I can
Maybe
actually
lighter wheels might certainly help with that.
absolutely, and I can confirm with
Unsprung
you.
mass.
Sorry to cut you off, but yeah, these fuel cells got 2 gallons bigger. They can hold 2 more gallons, which is definitely helpful in the grand scheme of things. They can run those few extra laps in the next gen car. But going back to green in a moment here, Pierre.
Okay, so the iRacing pace truck pulls away. A few takers towards the back of the pack there for a top-up of fuel. No tyres taken, but the green flag is out. There we go. Green, green, green. Back to racing then here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Down they go through the tri-oval, down towards turn 1. It's still Alexander Arildsson who leads the way after 15 laps as we go on to lap 16. And wow, what a boogie that Arildson's got off the restart there. And I tell you what, number 37, Jesper Eriksson, he's under pressure from guess who? Jonas Gunnarsson. But then, just look at this corner speed there that Eriksson's able to carry through into the tri-oval area. And I tell you what, Eriksson now right back on the case of Arildsson as quick as that.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive right there. Eriksson doing a really solid job of getting out of the confines of that Gunnarsson-Halflid-Hassan battle. And now he's right again chasing after Arildsson. But Arildson's been strong in this race. I almost wonder if there's a little bit of tire saving once Eriksson gets behind Arildsson, because, hey, if you can save the tires, that's obviously such a big help. You don't want to push too hard, especially when you feel like there could be longer runs. I guess it just kind of depends on the vibes of how this race goes.
Yeah, this is only 5 sets of tyres for 208 laps maximum. That's a tough one for our drivers. Meaning you've got to get over 40 laps per set of tyres on average. So that's going to be a tricky one, especially here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. There aren't many resting points. There's no big long straightaways here. You're kind of leaning on the tyre all the way through, but if you shuffle through past the tri-oval. Eriksson still sitting in second. Gunnarsson, though, keeping a very close watching brief in third place. Now, hopefully we'll settle into some slightly calmer running because, to say that caution was inevitable and there was an inevitable contact about to happen would be maybe understating it.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I felt like it was definitely gonna happen after the racing that we'd seen between those two drivers for a majority of the last couple laps before that. But nonetheless, a lot of single file in the top 10, top 15. Still, though, some big moves. You can get big runs in these cars down the backstretch here at Charlotte.
Yeah, these are wonderful, wonderful machines to watch. Drivers using several lanes out there, just trying to figure out where to place themselves in the best possible way and try and make moves forward. And that's the real delicate dance of this category of motorsport, where you're trying to balance the moving forward in the pack but not burning up your tyre as well. It's really about finesse, strategy, patience, really, really nuanced and tricky to be able to do that. And that is the challenge that Jesper Eriksson has really mastered this season in the Svenska Eracingligan, with 4 wins on the season. Can he make it 5 in this Female Legends 500? A race sponsored by Bilda Wallin, and they're there to celebrate the Female Legends virtual ladies gaming community. So great to have them on board for this race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like there needs to be, especially, coming from me working in NASCAR, there needs to be a bigger female presence in the sport. I've worked in an office with multiple, professional women in public relations, and they are wonderful people, great ideas, and I think across the board needs to be more respect and more avenues for women in racing. Honestly, they are they provide a lot of different perspectives. I think that is sorely lacking sometimes in the world of racing. So I think this provides a bit of a light on it in the way that we can here with the Svenska Eracingligan.
Yeah, I do think esports has made a really good effort in that side of things, and this is certainly an example of it. Arilson's still leading the way, but Ericsson just glued to the back of that number 24 car in the lead at the moment. Ericsson just been front of the pack all. Whoa, we got a wreck at the back going through the tri-oval. Yellow flag is out, and hard into the wall is Erik Lundberg. Oh no. And he's going to have to go all the way around with that. Oh, no.
That is a rough hit right there, but hard racing and making those big runs, making those moves obviously can lead to that. The dog leg is such a difficult part of a track to go 2 wide, especially 3 wide in. So that's definitely going to be a race ender for a few drivers.
That is, it is like a real bottleneck. It's a dog leg and a bottleneck all at once, and not many people get out the other side of that. Now we might see some real activity in pit lane. 25 laps now in this race complete, and Ericsson is going to we've seen a little bit of dummy action. I love this. I love the mind games here as well. A lot of the leaders duking. So they're some takers again, Dylan, but none of the leaders. Interesting.
I like it. Again, it gives you more, ability later in a run to kind of experiment with your strategies. If there's points given out right at lap 50 and 110 for stages, but the big points is the end of the race. If you can survive till the end of the race, that's big. You know that a lot of the top runners are trying to wait out till that lap 50 range before they even think about going into the pits for fuel. If you can wait, if you feel like, hey, I have a better chance of kind of messing with strategy before then, and foregoing that pit stop right then, not a bad idea.
Definitely not. Well, let's take a look then and see what happened there in that incident. So Erik Lundberg's in the yellow and black car on the bottom there, side by side with the number 58 Ford, and they just converge. It's so easy to happen. I didn't really see anything reckless or wild going on there, Dylan. Just shows you how easy it is to get involved in a wreck like that.
Yeah, that's a shame, but just one small moment can send a car careening into the outside barrier. That happens, and you kind of have the weird angles of the front stretch here at Charlotte, and then you got a multiple car incident, a chain reaction.
With the leaders here just not taking a stop, I wonder if they're predicting more cautions. Let's get it from Kim Nyholm in the 58 Ford's perspective, and not really anywhere for Kim to go, that's for sure. But Kim carries. Now, did Kim carry on without damage? Kim has come into the pits and taken repair. So it did seem to could have been a lot worse. Certainly nowhere near as bad as Lundberg had it. That's for certain. And like you said, a bit of a race ender. But do you? So lights out on the pace truck. So we're ready to go back to racing once again. 27 laps complete of a possible 208. Not far away from the first stage points being offered out. 50 laps, we give away our first stage points. So, iRacing pace truck ready to pull out of the way. I hope somebody's put enough gas in it for this race. We may be seeing it quite a lot if the first 27 laps are anything to go by.
Yeah, we might be seeing a lot of catastrophe in this race. Remember, 208 laps or 2 hours, 15 minutes. You got that 2 hour, 15 minute timer up? We might need it based on how this is going.
Could be. So it will be Arilton who leads us away in the 24 Chevy back to racing. The green flag being prepared at the flag stand, ready to wave and go back. They're bunched up 2 by 2. Green, green, green once again here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and it's a perfect getaway once more from Erlton, who's given hot chase from Jesper Eriksson. Then in third, it's Gunnarsson who's got the run out there into third, and a name we haven't mentioned yet, the number 84 there in fourth place. That's Tony Ovinen, who's got past Haflidason on that restart.
Yeah, and that was pretty big for Gunnarsson. Let's see if he's got anything for Jesper Eriksson and Arnoldson. But again, it seems like the top two break away pretty easily here.
Yeah, they did. And as soon as Ovinen got past Haflidason, the favour was returned as Eriksson goes up to the high line, curiously, trying to get a run going maybe in the black and red Chevy Camaro there, chasing down the white, blue and red number 24 car of Arnoldson, 24 Chevy, a combination about as successful as you can get in the NASCAR world, and still racing to this day. Over the line they go then, lap 30 we go for this Female Legends 500. Remember, 20 laps time, 30 miles time. We are handing out the first stage points. Jesper Eriksson had a perfect sweep of them last time out. Let's see what's going to happen this time.
Yeah, let's see for sure. A little bit off the apron, that white line, the apex there. It's not the preferred line to run anything other than against that white line for Arnoldson. Through 1 and 2, it changes just a little bit. You know, they say as it looks like Arnoldson will lose some steam and get some momentum going the high line. Eriksson edges in front for the moment. They enter 3, and coming out of 4, it looks like, depending on that slide up from Eriksson, that he'll take the position and make it into P1. Just 1 lap led for Jesper Eriksson.
What a move there from Jesper Eriksson. He's been threatening to make that move, and I think he's just looked after his tyre that little bit better in this early stage, and seemed to just have more grip, went up on the high side and snuck down in front of the 24 of Arnoldson. We have got a battle on here in the Female Legends 500 from Charlotte Motor Speedway, and that battling between these two leaders has brought Gunnarsson back into the picture in the number 1 Ford, that white and purple car. So we've got a real motor race on our hands here in really, well, this is the epicenter, this part of the world, the epicenter of NASCAR racing, of stock car racing, really, where all the big teams are. And well, it's fantastic to watch this virtual edition here with Eriksson. Whoa, just covering off the line there as well. But Arnoldson, he doesn't look much in the mood to sit in second place.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, why would you, right? Now it feels like a little bit of a dogfight. Might as well try and keep pushing. You know, maybe it was Eriksson who was pushing a little bit too hard, and now Arnoldson can take advantage of maybe not as heated tires, or I shouldn't say that. I should say tires that are try and make a move. No matter where you are in the track, you're going to heat up the tires a little bit more than someone who's saving it. And it's a big run for Arnoldson heading down the front straight right there. He is literally right on that rear bumper of Eriksson.
As well, and you also got to think about the fuel usage as well, because you're 15 to 20 laps on the fuel tank. In fact, maybe a little bit longer than that with the cautions now, maybe 20 laps on the fuel tank. So yeah, there's still a little bit to go there, and if you can save that little bit of fuel when a caution comes out, you then spend less time at the pump when you're getting your tires on at the same time. Remember, only 5 sets of tires available for the race, and we're coming up to that point where if once they've gone past lap 40, that first set, they're on the right number of laps per set of tires. And if you can keep them, if you don't want to get behind the 8 ball on the number of tires you've got available.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like sometimes drivers might, try and rectify a ill-handling race car with just fresh tires early on, that can come back to bite you later if a situation comes up where you can run up front and maybe have a chance to take some tires, but because you've got no sets left, you're about to get left in the dust by drivers who had those sets of tires. So no need to push it too hard. Just figure out what kind of race car you have for later on. This is a long race. And as a matter of fact, this is pretty much the same distance as an Xfinity Series race at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, it's a bit of a marathon for these drivers with a minimum race, maximum race time. Ericsson in the fence. Ericsson in the wall, in the number 37 there, in quite a big way, and that is not going to help the characteristics of that Chevy Camaro. Number 24, Arildsson, has had him under pressure, and Jesper Eriksson, who's been the gold standard on the ovals this year in the Svenska Eracingligan, well, he's human after all, Dylan.
Yeah, apparently. I didn't think he was, but he got himself into the wall. We'll see how that affects. Everyone's starting to bunch up for this top position. The first, you look at the top 5. They're all within 0.7 of each other. And the first 7, all within 1.2.
Just looking at the front right, I think Jesper Eriksson has got away with that. We certainly can't see any battle scars on the front right of that Chevy Camaro. But you never know what lingers underneath. You don't want to start bending steering and things like that, because you're just not going to have the time to get them repaired and keep in contention in the race. So is Jesper Eriksson running wounded? Judging by his lap time since that little rub with the wall, I'm not going to call it a little rub with the wall. That was a bit of a thump at high speed.
These cars are extremely durable. They can take hits way better than the Gen 6 car did, which also leads to some of the safety problems that have come up with this next-gen car, because they're a little bit too stiff, but it does keep the shape of the car more intact.
This is an interesting one, isn't it? But yeah, they could certainly take a hit. They remind me of the Crown Victoria police cars, which apparently the Californian Police Department stocked up on them. I was reading an article yesterday, Dylan, that because they were just so strong that they bought as many as they could on the last production run. So maybe that's where they got their inspiration from.
I had no idea about that. That's crazy. That's wild.
These are the pointless things you read on the internet.
Well, you know what? I'm very happy I've heard about that, because my days of a specific Hot Pursuit style game back in the day has led me to love those Crown Victoria cars.
I believe there's a I don't know where it is, but there's now a short oval that have bought a load of them, and you can go and race them.
I need to
Have
be
you
there.
heard of this place? Yeah, so do I. It was on Top Gear. It was on Top Gear quite recently.
Gear.
Yes, and I cannot remember it. I think the guy's name is Cletus, who does
Cletus
it.
McFarlane, that's right.
Yes, that's the guy.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, now Arildsson under pressure here, and Gunnarsson! Oh, Gunnarsson in the fence! Oh, Gunnarsson in the fence, and we've got a big shuffle out here. I think we're getting another caution. Gunnarsson, he's got big suspension damage, and somehow we stay green for that. How, I do not know.
That is an ill-handling race car now.
Yes, that's a crab. Oh dear. And interestingly, Gunnarsson does not go into the pits for damage. He's hoping for a caution.
Maybe hoping for a caution, maybe hoping that the car comes up to a relative speed so he doesn't have to lose a lap. I mean, that definitely helps him potentially in the long run, but that was vicious and a bit unnecessary.
It was a bit heavy-handed. We were having a nice, polite conversation about former police cars and short ovals, and then all hell breaks loose. Goodness me, that really takes one of the fan favourites for the win out of the race. Let's get a look at it then. So Gunnarsson's got a big run on here on the outside, and Arildsson stays down low for now. They're side by side. Gunnarsson goes by, and Arildsson. Oh. I don't think there was much room given there, Dylan. What do you make of it?
Oh man, I wanna see another angle if possible as you see him
Oh,
going
you
down
diplomat.
into the
You
pits.
diplomat.
Yeah, I'm usually not the diplomat, but you know, I feel like I'm changing my ways. I'm trying to be a little bit more diplomatic after I. Oh goodness, I've got a funny story to tell you, but we'll save it for a caution about me flipping out about myself in a race and then 2 seconds later doing a Jim Halpert stare into my webcam saying, "Oh, that was on me. Here's another replay." And coming out of 3, they're running hard. Remember, we see this is a battle for now second at the moment, and I mean, it looks like I can see it both ways. Where Arnoldson maybe could have turned left a little bit more, and the driver above. I mean, you know, you could maybe, if you're Gunnarsson, you can maybe not turn in as much. I mean, there's a car there, so I can see it both ways. Am I wrong?
I'm totally in agreement. Yeah, I think that well, this could give us a better idea now, and see if there was room for Gunnarsson. It's certainly an aggressive play from Gunnarsson, but he's got a great run. He's got to take it. He's right up on the cushion. Oh,
I think it's just 2 drivers coming together.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you say, they're going so hard. It's so fast, and the thing is as well, you're not driving a Formula car. These cars don't change direction on a whim. Like those kind of machines can go. What it does mean is that all of a sudden Linus Brostrom is right up in the hunt for this for the fight in this motor race, and he's up there fighting for second position now with Arnoldson and Ericsson. After having his thump with the wall, he's 7/10 of a second up the road, which in the context of this type of racing is a massive gap at this stage. And with 50 laps on the clock, that will be our stage winner then. We catch it. Jesper Ericsson is your stage 1 winner then. So he takes the first tranche of points. Of course, we stay green, unlike you would see in the NASCAR Cup Series where a caution would be thrown 50 laps in. And that is Jesper Ericsson who takes the stage win.
Yeah, so that was a lap 50 kind of stage race, stage win. And, you know, obviously stages are important, but now you're going to see a lot of takers in pit stops right here. And so I think we obviously see one coming down into the pits right now.
Yeah, so Jesper Ericsson, he made sure he got those stage points, and in he comes then for pit service. I would think we'll see new Goodyear Eagle tires going on here for our former race leader Jesper Ericsson, and that means that Linus Brostrom goes into the lead of the race with Arnoldson right in behind him. So they're going to try and maximize this fuel run as long as they can go. So Brostrom in the leading machine there, and one of a few. I honestly, for the life of me, that paint scheme is deceptive. I'm trying to pick out the badge on that car. Is it a Toyota? No, it's a Chevy.
Which one are we looking at?
The leader.
It's
a Chevy. It's a Chevy. The back's much more obvious.
Yeah, absolutely. That's I should know. It's a Camaro ZL1. You know why I should know, right? That's what we race.
Yeah, you go. Yeah, I think it would be embarrassing if you didn't know. It just
would be very well. Maybe it's better than saying, you know, that it's a Porsche or what did Nolan Rempel say one time on a RaceSpotTV broadcast?
You're going with that one, are you? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Nolan went, Porsche's Italian, right?
Yikes.
Yeah.
Just yikes, Nolan.
Oh dear. Alexander Arnoldson saves us by coming into pit lane with his Chevrolet Camaro. I can definitely tell you that's a Chevrolet Camaro, as he's got a little bit of company there before he comes to his pit box, and the crew will go to work on that machine. And of course, up to going for 4 new Goodyear Eagle tires. But Linus carries on 55 laps down. We've had a couple of caution interventions, so fuel tank might stretch another lap or 2, but that Chevy Camaro is looking pretty strong right now.
Yeah, it's a good looking race car at this moment. We'll see if it holds up. But Jesper Ericsson coming out of the pits. Look at the speed difference right here. I mean, it's unbelievable how much speed you get You know, I think it's not a bad idea for some drivers to maybe go with an overcut versus an undercut here, but as the leader or a driver up front, you kind of get your option to choose, and as long as the cycle kind of goes through its course on lap 60 or so, you're in good shape. But I'm not surprised. You know, Peter, I know we were talking about pit lengths and time you can spend out on a tank of fuel, but I'm not surprised that we're seeing guys come in right after that 50-lap stage ender, because might as well then go for the next 60-lap stint, you know, because that is a 60-lap stint from 50 to 110.
So our leaders come in then. Linus Broström carries a lot of drivers with him after 58. I think that's our magic number of our, you know, front-running top stint with some caution in there. So Linus Broström brings the Chevy Camaro in there, and of course we'll go for some tyres. Working theory here, Dylan. Do you think that Jesper Eriksson went harder to try and get himself in the lead, get those stage points, knowing that he was going to burn up the tyre a little bit more, and indeed maybe his fuel too? And do you think, did he sacrifice anything there and then pit that little bit earlier because of that?
You know, that's a good shout. I feel like, you know, he'll come in a little bit earlier so he can have that speed, that momentum at the start. It also depends on that fall off, right? A lot of the time they say in any race car, you kind of reach that cliff where there's the fall off is pretty much the same. You're not losing any more time over the length of tires. As a caution comes out, this is going to send... It's Arnoldson!
Oh.
What happened to Arnoldson? I saw him in the order in 19th, now 20th. I think he just came out of the pits. Oh, look at that huge damage. That's a race ender.
That is. Look at the wheels as well. The wheels pointing in the wrong direction. Oh dear. So Arnoldson, a front runner, is in a huge amount of pain. Now, I think, let's have a look at the stint lengths. There's a couple of drivers who were still on there. Yeah, we got basically your drivers from 9th in the way to from 1st to 9th. They haven't pitted yet, so they're gonna get a free stop here under green. Under yellow, excuse me, while the others had to pit under green. So, Force Esports, they're leading Ford Mustang there. Helmbro number 77, Hagman, Holmer, Schott, Tiers, Skoglund, Nyholm as well. They've all got the chance to come in here and pick up a free one. And we're going to see number 41. That is Bjorn Broström, father of Linus. So, busy pit lane here as well. Well, what happened to Arnoldson, I wonder, Dylan?
Man, that's a shame. We'll get a look in just a moment. Here we go. The 24 coming behind. Oh, the 1. Uh-oh. There's a little contact. Oh, no, that was not good. Oh, goodness.
Is that what I think it was?
That was... I think it would be very diplomatic of me to say anything other than that was intentional. That looked intentional. There was some contact, and then kind of reset itself, and then he kind of, you know, left rear hooked him down into the inside wall. That was no bueno. Let's look at Jonas Gunnarsson's point of view. He moves up. Oh yeah, that's intentional wrecking. That should be more than just DQ from this race. That should be a suspension. That's horrible.
Yeah, there's no place for that. That's for sure. If you're just joining us, the context behind that one, Gunnarsson had got into it with Arnoldson, and it was basically the other way around. I think Gunnarsson felt like he'd been given a rough treatment from Arnoldson, and that he obviously felt like he wanted to deal out some revenge, and that never ends well for anybody. So that's a pity. It does mean that the caution has come out once again after 61 laps of this race. Does this bring any new characters into the leading conversation now, Dylan?
I would imagine yes. Obviously, at least there's drivers who are not who have not been in the conversation at all up to this point, but we've seen some of the front runners have a ton of issues. Heck, even Ericsson was involved in his own problem when it came to kind of going up into the wall, but everything was good. Everything was fine. Everyone else, though, has had problems in this one. Such a shame, though. We've seen a lot of top drivers taken out in the first quarter of this race.
Interesting, Jesper Eriksson deciding to come into pit road just on this caution as well, just for a very quick top up of fuel. Interestingly, according to my timing screen. So yeah, he's showing he's on the first lap of his stint, but still in 11th. So he might be the man in the money seat now. Who's been able to do that? So, Jesper Eriksson. It looked like he was in a bit of trouble before that caution, though, Dylan, because he, having been into the pits early, he came out into a whole load of traffic.
I almost wonder if, Eriksson just decided to say, "Hey, I've got fresh tires. I'm gonna top off on fuel. There's not many drivers that are gonna go in front of me because." There were a lot of drivers a lap down, so they'll all have to take the wave around to get back onto the lead lap. They're not going to be able to pit and take that wave around, meaning that they'll have to be on the tires they already were on for a few laps. Eriksson can say, hey, there's only 15 or so drivers that were on the lead lap when that caution came out. I was one of them. I'll come down, get some maybe new tires, get a top off on fuel, and I'll still be in front of everybody else in behind. I trust my own abilities to move forward through the field. I think that's a good use of his time, and it's going to be exciting for us to see him try and scratch his way through here.
Yeah, it will. And Arlton, he's beached in the pits at the moment, taking repairs, and his challenge for the race is really over now. Not the only one nursing damage, though. So it's been a pretty bruising encounter so far after 63 laps of maximum 208. Will we reach the time limit of 2 hours and 15 minutes, or will we reach the lap limit? That's still to be seen. Pace truck is off, and it will be the number 13 machine then of Solo who leads us back to green flag racing. There's the flag. Green. Back to racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and it's Daniel Solo who leads us away then in car number 13 with number 12 of Marcus Hagman right behind, and we have a completely different order here with the leading few cars. They all got to pit under yellow, and as a result of that, they've come out ahead of the former leaders.
Yeah, they all went into pit road, and now you're going to see a lot of drivers who have fresher tires start to climb through this field. But the more chaos that it kind of creates, the harder it's going to be for these drivers to kind of move through. Jesper Eriksson has done this a lot in the Formula Series, and that open wheel series that did run every other week in the weeks that this series, the Oval Series, was off. And that third race, they do 3 short races, and that third race is the inverse of the top 15 at the end of the race 2. Eriksson was up front a lot in race 2, meaning he had to climb his way up from 15th on back in the grid, and we saw him do that quite a lot. To him, this is no different. He's already up in 8th.
Yeah, this is where we're going to see Eriksson earn his money, so to speak. He's got a few drivers who maybe don't quite have the same pace that he does, but he's got to find a way through, and they're going to be in no mood to let him go either. So this is going to be a fascinating phase of the race now as we go on to lap 67. Daniel Solo hanging on to the lead in his number 13 Ford Mustang with the number 12 Chevy Camaro of Marcus Hagman, really putting the pressure on. And here comes Hagman up on the high side. He's going to try and make it work. Oh, they nearly come together on the exit of the corner there. But it is the number 12 of Hagman who takes the lead for now, but he's going to stay up high. Can Solo make it work on the low line now as they head round towards the dogleg, still side by side?
Great battle going on right here. They're going to have to keep it clean, though, as they almost come together. Ooh, broadcaster's curse coming into play right there. But both of them, they're trying to run hard, but they're wasting all that life that they'll have in those tires. And they've got some of the worst life, I guess you could say, in the tire. Well, that's a lie. They've got fresh for Goodyear tires on their cars right now, but not for long.
No, yeah, it's certainly running very, very hard. But those further down in the order, they've got to work their tyres hard too to try and make moves forward. There's a lot of drivers with ambitions to win this race who are deep in the pack right now after that, shall we say, quite inconveniently timed caution still side by side for multiple laps in a row here between Hagman and Solo, and eventually Hagman seals the deal in that Chevy Camaro. So it's the number 12 Chevy Camaro then of Marcus Hagman who hits the front here in the Female Legends 500 from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Through the tri-oval dogleg they go. We've got a little bit, despite that side-by-side battling, they've actually opened up a little bit of a gap back to the 77 car of Peter Helmbro.
Certainly, they have certainly done that, and it's been a pretty impressive run as you saw a car go into the outside wall, just scrape it. I think that was Daniel Holmer, 82, going up a little bit of Erling, and it's all good. He'll just lose some speed mid-corner, but I think he scared Holmer a bit, so it got to equal out for both of them there through the dog leg. But Hagman's got the lead for sure at this point, but Solo's going to try and come back underneath him. I don't think that was a good entry point for Hagman. And look at Arnoldson still out there.
Yeah, Arnoldson is 9 laps down, but he's got, now will have fresh tyres on, and I don't know if he will provide, if he will be an issue here for Solo and Hagman. He might well pull away from them. Let's see. That is if his race car is fixed, though it looks pretty good. As Solo goes to the low line, he's going to try and take the move off the number 12 Hagman, and he does. So solid back to the lead of the motor race. A little bit of a job there, but Arnoldson very gentlemanly moves over and lets the leaders come through. And now Hagman's going to try and go back at it again on the low side there, almost banging wheels. Oh, how did they stay upright there?
Man, oh man, they are just going at it right there, coming together almost again. You can barely put a piece of cardstock in between those two, and you can maybe fit 2 slices of paper there, but maybe not for long. I think they'll make contact.
Well, all I can say when you're watching this is anyone who thinks that NASCAR is just turning left, you are a fool. You don't know what you're talking about. There's such nuanced racing, fantastic. And just going through the dogleg there, Dylan, it's just amazing how there's just so many little subtle corners that make up that one swoop past the pits.
You are spot on with that. I know that it's not always the opinion shared by many who aren't familiar with oval racing, but there are so many indices that you just don't see. It's very difficult to understand because we're talking thousands here, hundreds. I know, an attack into the corner might not be the best move, especially 60 laps down. It's a lot of repetition, but it's also about finding your groove and dealing with changing track conditions, because you'll see the same corner potentially 200, 300, 400 times over the course, and this one 208 times over the course of a race. But that corner is ever changing, so you have to subtly change your actual turn-in points, your throttle control, and then, of course, racing packs. That just changes the game entirely.
Oh, that's the bit I love the most, is that pack racing, and where do you place yourself? Do you get a ticket to the correct train, or do you miss the bus? And other suitable metaphors and cliches. It's really, really fantastic to watch. But it's Solo who's back to the front now in the Ford, ahead of Hagman in the Chevy, and Helmbro up there in third. Now, watch to our maestro Jesper Eriksson. He's still in 10th, so he actually hasn't made many moves forward. He's kind of stuck in that pack, and actually Linus Brostrom has got past Eriksson and is on the move. Linus Brostrom in that 71 Chevy, he's the man on the move right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely is the man on the move, and I'd love to see Linus get a win here. Met him at Phoenix in the NASCAR Championship weekend. It was nice to see him, and I believe it was also Alexander there and Bjorn Brostrom as well, Alexander Arnoldson. So good to see them, and Arnoldson obviously 9 laps down, now 10 laps down, not having himself a good day after that wreck earlier. So car into the wall a little bit, but Linus is definitely doing well, and he is running right in front of Jesper Eriksson.
Yeah, I think Eriksson's gone, Linus has got it got it going today, and I'm not going to let him get away. I'm going to start making some moves, start burning up some tires in the pursuit of Linus Broström. But wow, have they got some traffic ahead of them now to negotiate. 78 laps down here at the Female Legends 500. On to lap 79 we go. The next stage points are at lap 110. So we have 31 laps to go then for those next stage points, and there is enough fuel in the tank of all of these cars to make that. So if we stay green, we can go all the way to the end of the stage. So how's that going to affect how these guys play this?
It's definitely going to bring them into another 30 laps of trying to stay out here unless there's a caution. Some drivers, because there's no caution at the stage break, they're going to stay out until that stage break unless there is a caution beforehand. So it's really just run your race for the next 30 laps and take it from there. I think right after those 30 laps, though, we're going to see a lot of takers right away into the pits because it is a long distance from that lap 50 point to lap 110. Even though we had a caution in the middle of it, you're still wasting, not wasting, you're using more fuel than you did in that first 50 lap run.
Jesper Ericsson's dropped a couple of position again. He was right on the back of Linus Broström, but he's now lost 2 positions there. Short and Ovanen who have gone through there. So Ericsson having a little bit more of a quiet time of it. He had a clean sweep last time out at Indianapolis where he won both the stage points and the overall race. It's going to be pretty tricky to do that from this position, but you got to think though as well as we get closer to the stage where we might see some more aggression, some more moves, and of course that increases the chances of a caution going out. I tell you what, Dylan, I don't know who could ever possibly be a NASCAR strategist, but the brain required and the quick mathematics required, it makes my head spin.
Oh, it's unbelievable, man. I'm very fortunate to work for Colleague Racing and be able to talk to some of the brains behind the operation. Crew chiefs, Bruce Schlicker, Matt Swiderski, Trent Owens, Jason Trincheri, and Kevin Walker and Alex Jans. Those are our crew chiefs from last year and this coming year, and it's awesome to be able to talk with them and just understand who. The minds that go into each operation, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to learn about them, and then we have a great room of engineers who, we're talking people who have studied at Oxford University, or people who worked or had offers to work for NASA. It's unbelievable what goes into it, and then there's us. We just talk about what's going on.
We're just mere simpletons, but we're easily pleased, though. You think how difficult these people must be to please.
Cargo room.
Yeah, but we're just like, race cars, noise, excellent, good, that'll do.
You're dang right about that.
Linus, he's up into 7th now in that number 71 Chevy, right up behind the number 8 Chevy of Henrik Lindorf. So moves being made, but at the front it's Solo and Hagman who are having all the fun at the front right now, swapping positions back and forth. And Jesper Ericsson, our 4-time winner on the season, he is just, it's almost just like he's boxed in there. He just cannot seem to make the move forward.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising, right? It feels like, again, you don't get your points until the rest of this here we go, 3 wide until that 110 lap marker goes. That's still a lot of time. It's 24 and a half. Going to be 24 laps once I hit the green here. So there is still time to save your tires and then move for it. There's no need to be too aggressive, but we're getting close to that point where I think Ericsson's going to start to climb through, and he's making a move down the inside of Ovanen right now, and right behind the 101 of Shad Ericsson. Ooh, he climbed up the track just a bit, and Ovanen got almost into the wall. So these two are running hard as can be right now.
They are. They're running very, very aggressively. Now as we get closer to the stage points, now just 23 laps, make that 22 laps before we hand out the next load. of stage points. Remember, no caution thrown at that point like you would see in the NASCAR Cup Series. And then we head to either 208 laps or 2 hours and 15 minutes, whichever comes first. So, lap 88 of this Female Legends 500, and Linus Broström has really got the bit between his teeth right now. He's in 6th, and he's making moves forward all the time. Next up is the 5th place driver of number 8 Chevy of Henrik Lindhoff. And a little bit of contact there, a little bit of rubbing from the number 37 of Jesper Eriksson to the car ahead. That's the 101 car. No, it wasn't. It was actually the 83 of Scotland there, getting really cozy to the back of that Chevy.
Yeah, that was close, but hey, close only counts in horseshoes, right? As they say.
You're gonna have to explain that one to me after.
It's something. I guess it's an American game. Horseshoes. You throw the horseshoe into the.
Is it like petanque?
What?
I think.
Oh,
big wiggle there.
That looks like petanque right there.
That was
the noise that
was
just
nearly
made.
kerplunk there. Goodness me. Wow. That is, of course, a lap down. Well, actually, so several laps down. Lundberg there getting, I think, moved out the way by the number 101 car there of Hakan Schott, who says, "Yeah, you're in the way of our race. Move on, sir." Maybe didn't call him sir. So Jesper Eriksson now just taking advantage there of that situation. He moves up into 8th place and now going to try and make a move on Skoglund, who's up the high line now. So seems like Eriksson much happier on that lower line. Some other drivers happy to try the high side, but Eriksson working the low line well.
I feel like he might have said sir, but in a different language.
He might have used that word that our producer used about 10 minutes before we went on air.
I mean, goodness me, is that what I saw on the quotes channel?
Eriksson now up to 7th and now got a bit of clear air. So now is this where he pulls the pin out? It seems like there's been a bit of a change in the body language of that number 37 Chevy Camaro of Jesper Eriksson with the Bohlin's backing. Of course, one of the main sponsors of this Svenska Eracingligan. And I mean, we see great support for virtual motorsport from various sponsors, Dylan, but I don't think it gets much cooler than having a sponsor that sells snowmobiles.
I mean, I've never ridden or driven a snowmobile, but I'd love to. So,
yes, me too, just saying.
And we should plan a vacation to
Sweden.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
So Bohlin's, we're your men to test out any new products. Yes, we've never driven one before, but we want to try. Daniel Solo under pressure now from Hagman, as he has been for most of this phase of the race since we last went under caution. And Helmbro now, Peter Helmbro in the Ford Mustang, right on the case there. He's wanting to make a move forward, as are Lindhoff and Holmer, who are right there too. Now, the outlier in this gap is Gunnarsson in car number 1. He's 24th. He's a couple of laps down, but he's right there in this leading bunch, making a nuisance of himself.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Gunnarsson is. I'm shocked that there's no number 1 or number 24 discussions that have turned into less of discussions, but more of a hello and goodbyes on the racetrack, if you know what I'm putting down. The exchanging of business cards, if you will.
Or the
wrecking.
The Tony Stewart, the Tony Stewart helmet throw through the window.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the virtual Tony Stewart helmet throw. They should assign that a button in either. I think that'd be great.
How good would that be? Or the Kyle Busch crybaby gif.
Oh man, this is good fun. This has been a good race though too. Seriously, what a race we've got going on. I mean, look at that gap for the lead. It's still within a 100th, or a 10th, I should say. 100th would be wild, but a 10th of each other between Salo and Hagman. It's just awesome.
It is. It's fantastic. And critically there, Gunnarsson has got a lap back on the leading car. So if we get another couple of cautions, he can get himself back up on the lead lap, looking like his race was over, 2 laps down. And now, all of a sudden, Gunnarsson, it's going to be a long road back as we approach half race distance. But better than it was, that's for sure. But Solo still leads the number 13 Alcantech Ford from the Chevy of Hagman, car number 12. Then it's the Ford of Holmer with Lindhoff, Helmbro, excuse me, then Holmer right in there. Then there's quite a big gap back from Holmer in the 79 car to Lindhoff. And guess what? Linus Brostrom, who was looking really strong in that early phase of this, since the last caution, well, guess who's coming on strong? Ericsson. He was just goading us all along, Dylan. He had that tire in his pocket all the time.
Yeah, and I'm really thinking Ericsson's about to just start driving up like crazy. This is his time, right? This is where we're going to start to see him moving with speed on the Hagman and Salo. But this is just such a good battle too. Helmbro is 2/10 behind right there, so this stage win, it's anyone's game. Look at that, Helmbro with that huge move down the inside of Hagman, and I think this might be some easy pickings for him, the teammates, I believe.
Well, this is the thing, is it's better to have friends out there than enemies, and if you can work together in this type of racing, it's a heck of an advantage. Solo, just such a different style. He really runs that high line, runs right up at the cushion, and makes it work. And yeah, totally different from what Ericsson was doing, whereas he's holding it down the low side. Likewise, the 79 of Holmer, he's trying low side a little bit more, but Solo, different line, different technique to the rest.
Just a cat, and he gets up into the wall, and that's not the line he wants, and that's going to destroy his entry into 1 and 2. I know that's a different line entirely, but that is going to slow him down just a bit. It looked like Helmbro kind of reacted, though. So maybe it was sympathy losing your head a bit as they enter very high in 3 as well. So, this happens as tires start to fall off. You start to run a little bit higher and higher and higher, trying to have that speed continue as much as you can. But you got to adjust your driving style, because pretty soon you go a little bit higher, you're up into the wall.
Well, here comes Ericsson for a move as well on the number 8 of Lindhoff, and you just see that Ericsson's just able to hold that line and really open up the steering coming out of the corner, carrying the speed, whereas it just seems that Lindhoff and Brostrom now just don't seem to have that same grip that they exploited early on in this run. And Ericsson now, he's just played it so clever, and here he comes. He's now driving it hard, and tell you what, Ericsson will be loving this battling going on up ahead. He wants to get involved in that leading bunch.
I think with 6.5 laps to go here in the stage, Ericsson 2 seconds off. I mean, never put anything past his speed. That's just tough. That's a hard gap to kind of break down.
Well, as the end of the stage approaches, could it be that the battling at the front gets even more fierce than it already was? It's, I think, the number 13, the Ford of Daniel Solo, who's been the one who's led the most laps since the last caution. But can he get those critical stage points at the conclusion of lap 110? Meanwhile, number 8 of Lindhoff making a move up on the high side past Linus Brostrom, but can he get it done? Going to runs out of puff there as Linus Brostrom, they nearly come to scraping there as they head through the dogleg once more. So lap 105 in the books. On to lap 106 we go. We have gone past half race distance here at the Female Legends 500 from Charlotte Motor Speedway. We hope you're enjoying the coverage here on RaceSpotTV. And still side by side then between 71 of Brostrom and the 8 of Lindhoff.
I mean, this is just remarkable. I love this. What a race we've been having. It's a shame that some of the top dogs are out so far, but there's still a lot of time for a surprising name to win this race. And the fact that Helmbro and Holmer and Sala are within 2.5 tenths of each other still for this stage win with 3.5 to go here, awesome. Just awesome stuff.
Oh, here comes Daniel Holmer then in the Bright Esports Chevy number 79, then down on the inside there of Solo, and Solo goes to cover it off as they go through the dogleg and manages to do so for now as we're heading now. Lap 108 is, we head on to lap 108 now, so it's our 2.5 laps to go then until we give our second stage winner, and Solo is going to keep trying to work that high line, really trying to get it to work for him, and he is, as he comes down low and shuts the door for the 79 of Holmer. So we come on then to lap 109 with car number 79. Holmer trying to make the move here on the 13 of Daniel Solo, but still can't get it done. Solo doing an incredible job here to hold off the fight, and here comes Helbro. Remember him in the Ford Mustang. He's going to try it up high as well as we head towards the end of the stage. Now onto the final lap of this second stage, where we're going to hand out stage points here at the end of this lap. 1.5 miles to go to the end of the stage here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and Daniel Solo holding on to it for now as the 79 of Holmer is now side by side with the 77 of Helmbro. The 2 Ford Mustangs, 1 Chevy Camaro in here, but Daniel Solo has got a good gap for now. Can he hold on to it for just another half mile or so? And he will be your winner of stage 2. Yep, it's going to be your stage winner then. Daniel Solo wins stage number 2 here in the Female Legends 500 at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, awesome battle for that stage victory right there, and it lasted for a very long amount of time. Expect drivers to come into the pits as early as this lap.
Yep, that's the and already straight away the number 10 of Holmbaum comes in to the pits, and we're now looking at some of the drivers, the varying stint lengths, now some over 50 laps, and yes, straight away we've got several drivers coming in there. Marcus Hagman in the number 12 Chevrolet for Force Esports. Solo has carried on, interestingly, as has Holmer, Ericsson, Strom, Lindhoff, Schott, Fredriksson, Erling, Skoglund and Tier. They're all carrying on for now while the others head to the pit road.
Yeah, that was great. That was solid, and we'll see these drivers coming to the pits. Ericsson, I think that was just to get out of the way of everybody else. It might not have gone his way necessarily, but he was able to last a few more laps than he would have otherwise. I don't know. I just think that maybe that didn't go to his books, to his plan. Still got some stage points right there, and now you're setting up for these final 96, 95 laps.
Yeah, he's interestingly, he's he's going to be pitting under green here as Holmer then goes down to the low side. He's going to try and take the lead of the race for the first time in full, and he might well be able to do it. Is he going to take the risk and slide up here? And no, can't quite do it. Solo's going to try and run that high line that he loves so much in that Ford Mustang, but getting a little bit tight there. A little bit of a push going up the racetrack, and they still side by side. They can't have an awful lot of tire life left, but they keep going. And right now, Dylan, are they hoping for a caution? Is that what they're banking on right now after 55 laps of green flag running?
I guess. I mean, at this point, the best strategy to me, the only one I can see, is pit now and then split the last stint up into halves, right? Because you can go longer than half of the remainder of the race. You're going to have to pit again. Look at this. Exactly. It's almost like Salo was hearing exactly what I was saying. Oh, and look at that. A late decision right there from Holmer to come in as well. So I think they both, I don't know. Did I just influence the race right there?
I think you did. I hope so. That's the opposite of a commentator curse. That's
commentator
divine
promise.
Intervention. Yes. Hack and Schott carries on though. So we've got a few other brave drivers. We've got Schott, Erling, Skoglund, and Tier We've done 55 laps since that was a full green flag stint since the last caution. They're carrying on, so their Goodyear tires are going to be screaming. And indeed, shot comes down pit road. Are we going to see anyone take it on further than that? Yes, we are. Is car number 49, Kenny Tier. He's really running it deep into the stint into that Chevy Camaro.
Yeah, he's running this deep, and I think he might be utilizing the strategy of run as long as you can here, hope for a caution. If a caution doesn't come out, make sure to pit before it's too late and have some small short stints at the end. He's coming in right now, and is he the last one? I believe so.
Yes, he is. He is, yeah. So your de facto leader of the race then is Peter Helmbro in the Force Esport Ford Mustang. And yeah, why not make that number 12 of Marcus Hagman in the Chevrolet again for Force Esports. So it's a Force Esports 1-2 right now. One in a Chevy, one in a Ford. But look at the side of your shot there. Look who's coming, the number 37, Jesper Eriksson. It didn't take him long to stay away from the lead of the race. He's wanting to try and make it 5 wins on the season.
That would be absolutely impressive and still within the realm of possibility. Now it's just about, keeping your head, right? You feel like you're the faster driver and you feel like you are the guy to beat throughout most of this series. I'll put it to the test. Let's see if that's actually the case.
Well, let's see. Yeah, it's a totally different ball game to what we saw at Indianapolis. A few weeks ago. Much more challenging racetrack, I'd say, with these cars. And I have to say we're being treated to a more interesting race here for sure than we did at Indianapolis a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I feel like this series and Ericsson, his drivers, he got a little bit low right there on that blue and white line. I mean, there's just very few drivers that you feel like is a threat no matter what car, what series, what track, what combo, right? I feel like he's got a solid shot no matter where he is, where he races. And, when he struggles early on, it kind of is more exciting for us and the viewers because you get to see him then, try and make up for it later in the run, and he can. So keeps entertaining.
It does. And Daniel Solo, through that pit cycle, he's been able to keep in that leading conversation as well. He's tucked in behind Linus Brostrom. Brostrom in 4th, Solo in 5th, and they are just hanging on to the back of Jesper Eriksson. We saw Eriksson go pretty easy in the first portion of the last run, and then ramp up the pace towards the end and make his moves later in the run. How is he going to do it this time? It looks like Brostrom's really on a run now, picking up a bit of a slipstream, a little bit of a draft from Eriksson now. So yeah, Brostrom, we saw him go hard early in the run last time, and then kind of fade back towards the end. Is he going to try and balance that approach this time? We wonder.
So I feel like, as we'll see as this run continues to go on, a pretty big fight between all the drivers in behind. Brostrom has a shot at a win here, right? You expect him to race for the win, but is Eriksson holding and saving those tires? Probably a little bit, right? 3 wide right here, as Salo said, hey, yeah, Eriksson's definitely saving right here. There is no doubt in my mind. He's not racing as hard as he could.
No, definitely. He's playing the long game. He is playing the long game, is Eriksson. And yeah, Brostrom looked to catch Eriksson so fast, and then all of a sudden Solo just puts it up on that high line that I think he's making that high line work better than anybody else in this race in that Ford Mustang. Just brilliant to watch. Super, super exciting. Love it. Absolutely love it. And he's now got his sights firmly set on the Ford Esports pair of Helmbro and your leader Hagman.
Yeah, and I wonder if a driver like Salo, like it's just two different perspectives of the race where, hey, go hard now, and if you have to save, you'll have to deal with faster cars later. But I think he's hoping for chaos right? The smooth, conscious driving from Ericsson right now, and the lack of, a holdup of drivers who want to get by him is going to help if it goes green the rest of the way, which I think you always got to plan for. You've always got to plan for a race to go green the rest of the way, even if it doesn't always happen, as those two cars get close on corner exit. Even if it doesn't always happen, that's what you got to plan for. When it does, a lot of cars get into the wall. If a caution comes out, then you adapt your strategy. But again, we're talking about the minds of the world of motorsport. That's what they're there for. It's hard to do it all as a driver as well.
Well,
so lots of good action going on here in the Female Legends 500. We're still watching Linus Broström do some battle right here with Helmbro, and those two side by side still. Great racing action. And Ericsson, Uvinen, they're all right in this battle. It's been fun as they go up to the top of turn 4. The Bohlins, Svenska Eracingligan. Good times here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hogman in the lead, 7/10 over Daniel Salo. We'll see if that remains. It's pretty much this train going on from Linus Broström all the way back to Daniel Holmer. It's been fun.
well, apologies there, folks. A slight technical issue here at my side here at the Kai Broadcasting Tower, so apologies for that. Dylan, I hope you didn't miss me too much.
I was hoping it was a longer stint without you. I mean, I didn't mean to say that. Did I say that? Oh, Peter, I don't want to hurt your heart, man.
Oh,
I didn't mean it. If it's any consolation, I didn't mean it.
okay, what have I missed?
Not much.
Good.
Not much at all. It's still good racing between all these drivers. Hogman, Salo. This battle has kind of started to get a little closer between Hogman and Salo. And I think Salo is racing a bit hard right here, but Ericsson's still dropping back. Look at that gap, 1.5, 1.4 seconds now. Remember, it was 0.7, 0.8 seconds, so I don't think it's that he just doesn't have complete pace. I think it's just might as well wait till the end. I'm almost imagining that Ericsson's going to go in not with an not with an overcut, but maybe like a little bit later with everybody else, and then absolutely abuse the tires the final set that he puts on.
Yeah, he's definitely got something up his sleeve. He's keeping a stealth approach here. His Solo's going to go on the low side to make a move now on Hagman in the Chevrolet as they come through the dogleg, and almost coming to a little bit of a scrape there, but Solo's still running the low side. We've seen him make the high line work really well, but trying to work the low side as well is Daniel Solo. But then here comes Hagman, and he turns Hagman around. That's your lead of the motor race, and the yellow flag comes out. The caution is on, and Ericsson involved. Ericsson involved, and we've got a... Oh, have we got a big one? You bet we have. Oh, no.
Slow it down, guys.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. That incident there has just turned this race on its head. Solo there getting into it hard. Oh, and look at the state of Ericsson's car.
Man, oh man. Everybody who has been fast in this race is just suffering from major problems. That was, again, unnecessary. And on top of that, I can't believe we're still driving in at 140, 150 miles per hour into that wreck. Caution's been out for 5 seconds, and you're still going in with ARCA brakes there.
You're still going in hard. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Let's get a look from Ericsson's point of view, because it kicks off, it's all happening, and he's trying to pick, and there isn't really anywhere to go there. What a shame. That was a big thump there for Ericsson, and unsurprisingly has to come down pit road. He'll need to get repairs there as well. He could lose, well, let's see how long he stays in the pits and see how many laps he loses. Are we now going into the section of the race where we could get a string of cautions? Cautions do breed cautions, as we know, and well, the 37 of Jesper Eriksson, that looks like a big repair for that car.
Favorite term of mine, right? Cautions breed cautions. You hear it on every NASCAR-centric broadcast, and
it's true.
It's true. Yeah, it's cautions breed cautions.
I mean, it's like stereotypes. You know, people say that Scottish people have, have ginger hair and are maybe a little bit tight with money. I mean, that's because there's quite a lot of people in Scotland who have ginger hair and quite tight with money. And I'm saying that as a Scots person. So cautions do breed cautions, is what I'm trying to say. Let's get another look at it before we offend anybody else. And Hagman, he's squeezed in there, and unnecessary. I'm going with you on that one there, Dylan.
Yeah, unnecessary. It's just the after stuff. Oh man, Ericsson almost gets through, and then boom. I mean, that's the chain reaction stuff. At this point, caution's out. That's one thing, but it's out now. Watch. I believe there's still cars coming in with absolute speed, or maybe that was it. In live time, it looks different to me, but ooh, yikes. That could have been
cars
nasty.
Everywhere. That could have been very nasty.
Just slow it down, guys.
The irony is that Solo got away with that scot-free. That is the irony of that, because Solo really squeezed him into the wall and ended up turning him before he even reached the wall. And Solo gets away with it, no damage whatsoever. So Solo survives. That may well come back to bite him in one way or another. But who does benefit from that though is Linus Broström. He's looked like he's had a race winning car all day long, I'd say, Dylan.
He really has looked like he's had one all day long, and maybe it's going to stay that way. I wonder what we're looking here in terms of time, in terms of laps versus time.
Well, while we do the mathematics on how many laps we may well have to go, we're going to take a short break here on RaceSpotTV. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Behöver du en bil? Moby hyrbilar finns på över 150 platser i landet och vi har nästan lika många modeller att välja på. Moby hyrbilar. Hyrbilar som passar dig.
Welcome back to RaceSpotTV, where we're about to go back green once again in the Female Legends 500. Daniel Solo, in fairly controversial circumstances, leads the race, but we have just been under caution after an incident there with the number 12 of Hagman, who's still in the pits after getting turned into the wall. And after 137 laps, we're ready to go racing once again here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The pace truck pulls away then, and Daniel Solo will take us back to the green flag alongside Linus Brostrom. Green flag raised in the air. Green, green, green. Back to racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Solo gets a good getaway then as the number 79 of Hallmark trying to run down low there to get past Brostrom, but Brostrom is following the footsteps there of Solo in the lead, and we go back to racing.
Back to racing indeed. And easily enough for Solo to break through into P1. Brostrom right in behind with a pretty much an 80 or 70 lap stint to the end. It was not enough for one driver to come down now and be good to the end of the race. If there's a caution in 5-10 laps time, you might see drivers try and just get in right then, and that should be enough for them to go the rest of the distance. We're not there yet, so it's a lot of hard racing to come.
Yeah, you bet it is. And already there's hard racing going on. Solo leads, but Brostrom is getting a move put on him by the 112 of Fredriksson. And Fredriksson actually having a little look for the lead of the race now, but Brostrom's going to get the bump draft going on Solo. Keep Solo in the lead then, and Brostrom's going to try and follow through. But the low line, they're running in hard and deep. It's Fredriksson just a little slide up to the top of the racetrack, and he moves into the lead of the motor race then. So the 112 Chevy of Fredriksson goes to the lead, and then Solo dips down low, trying to make the move now as they go side by side through down towards the dog leg. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's some fantastic racing that we've got going on right now. Fredriksson into the lead. I think it's the first time he's led the race today. And what a time to choose it in the final third of this entire run. I mean, heck, we just entered the final third, and just like a soccer or a football match, wherever you are, this is the danger zone. This is where you can get aggressive and attacks will come. For Fredriksson, he's going to have to park the bus and be defensive.
Yeah, Fredriksson got a look at the queue of cars up behind him right now, but he leads the motor race. That is the main thing. Update on Jesper Eriksson. He managed to get repair and still managed to stay on the lead lap. That is the main point there. So he's in 15th right now, but in the lead lap. That's the main thing. Only 4 seconds off the lead. So Jesper Eriksson down, but not out right now. But it's Fredriksson who leads the way in the Chevy Camaro from the Ford Mustang of Daniel Solo. And then it's the Chevy Camaro Brostrom there who's going to try and go down and make a move on Solo. No, he's not. But look, here from absolutely nowhere is the Mustang of Solander, who just slips underneath there on Brostrom and goes through it. But has he, though? Ooh, almost. That was a big move there. Oh, big slide. Oh, another big slide.
Hold it, keep holding it. Anton Ullman going full Jamie McMurray right there through the corner. That was wild, wild stuff. And 3 wide for second, splitting the middle is Linus Brostrom. He didn't want any part of it. Solander goes right through, and he gets into second, and a slow car is coming out of the pits right in front of the leaders.
Oh, and Linus Brostrom and Daniel Solo almost get into it, and look down low, almost down the bottom line there. Helmbro goes past on Brostrom, so this is all kicking off here. At the front we have Fredriksson, who's no we don't. We have Solander, who's just hit the afterburners after the restart of this race. So the Solander driven Ford Mustang to the front of the race for the first time with 145 laps down, 63 to go. So we cannot go, if we go all green, you cannot go on this tank of fuel or on a full tank of fuel. We're going to need some caution, but if you get it, you could stay out to the end of the race if you wanted to. But all the strategical permutations are opening up.
Strategical permutations. I love that.
Yeah,
love
I
love
impressed
that.
myself there, actually.
I was fairly
know where that came
impressed
from.
with you. I mean, I don't know either. Just like that podium in an HPD 3 years ago. I didn't know where that came from.
That was not a permutation that I expected either.
That was not in the calculations.
Oh dear, missed on one of my finest hours behind the wheel of a virtual or a real car for that matter. Anyway,
So, check out the numbers that we're currently seeing on our screen, by the way. It's actually a pretty interesting number that's brought up. You see 12, 12, 34. That's the stint length. That's how long they've been on these sets of tires. And you see they're all different. They're all changed between a bunch of these drivers. That's why you see lower numbers starting to climb up the order. Now, if you're at that, 13, 12 lap counter in terms of how long your stint's been, that meant you came down at that caution around 136, lap 136. That does not get you to the end of the race. You still have to come into the pits. So all these drivers, every single one, still needs to pit one more time. And if that pit stop came right now, they would be good to go.
They would. And I think that the big thing is now is that, well, what weapon have you brought to the fight? Well, Solander, Helmbro, and Ovenen, they've brought a gun to a knife fight with some much fresher Goodyear tires. So this is really interesting stuff to see who is going to come out on top here. It's the circuit is, as you mentioned at the top of the show, Dylan, it's not as wide as you'd think. So having a big 4 wide for the finish is only going to end up in one big pile and one big steaming heap. So, fantastic! We're really heading into the business part of the race as we're in twilight here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, heading into the early evening hours. And all of a sudden, the number 140 Mustang, the Mustang of Andre Solander, leads by 3/4 of a second. So he's making full use of those fresh boots and opened up a bit of a gap over the similarly shod Helmbro, number 77 car, the Ford of Peter Helmbro, ahead of Fredriksson in the number 112 car, who is much deeper into the stint and therefore going to be suffering on those tires pretty soon.
Pretty soon. That is for some of these drivers, pretty soon might mean, 40, 30 laps time. I mean, if I'm Solander or Helmbro, right, and you're 17 laps on stint, you can go another 40, 43 laps. I wonder if that comes into play, though. Hold on. Doing the numbers. Trying to think of what I was going to say. 65, give or take, carry the 2. And you probably have 237 or so lap stints, 35 to 40 lap stints. Give it another 20, 23 laps for the drivers who came into the pits that time by. They'll split that last section into a half. Good? We good there?
Right. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm following the thread. Yep. And you could, if you really wanted to, right now you could, if the caution came out now, you could fill up and be good to the end of the race. Definitely. Even if it went all green, we've seen drivers do a 56-lap run. Would you want to do that? And with the inevitable caution that you're going to see later in the race, maybe not. But how many cautions are we going to see towards the end of the race? There's loads of questions, none of which we have an answer to right now, and that's what makes this type of motorsport so enthralling and compelling. Solander's gap has all of a sudden disappeared, so all of that huge burst of pace has come at a cost. He's all of a sudden been reeled in by the Ford Mustang of Peter Helmbro right now. So it's Alcatech versus Force at the front of the field. 2 Ford Mustangs there. That is quite a big gap to Ovenen in the 84 car in third. In fact, nearly a second and a half back there. But is Helmbro, is he going to be tempted to make a move here? He's certainly got the momentum with him.
I think so. Absolutely. I mean, if we're in the final quarter of this race we're coming to right now. So if you can get a chance to break out in front and do it, for sure. They're both on the same stint. And honestly, look at that. Look at that. Helmbro's going down the inside. It's the right move. You've got the speed. Take advantage of it now.
Yeah, he's got a fast race car at this exact moment, and goes to, but then Solander's not going to let him have it though. He's going to try and nick back up the inside of they rub going through towards the end of the lap. They both get away with it with just a little bit of a wiggle and an adjustment of the steering to make it sound a lot less dramatic than it is. But wow, Solander's not giving up at all in at that green Tiger Stripes Ford Mustang, and Helmbro's going to try and hang it out to the outside, and that was nearly a quarter panel.
Nearly.
Ooh.
Almost. Horseshoes
And petanque.
You know, I like to say instead of you can lead a horse, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And instead of saying that, I usually say horse, water, drink. That's what I just said. Close, horseshoes, petanque. So is the idea you throw the horseshoe at a target? That's the idea? It's like a little pole in the ground, and you just kind of try and throw it as close or onto that pole as possible. And if you get close, that's great, and you get some points for it. But the goal is to get it onto the pole.
That sounds so similar to petanque.
It's just America, you know.
Yeah, but petanque is very, very French. It's
an onomatopoeia.
It's honestly one of the most French things you can do is play petanque.
That's an onomatopoeia. That's all I'm saying.
So Helmbro out to the front, Ovenen now on the charge here. So it seems like that burst of speed for Solander is perhaps coming to an end as he now starts to fade back a little bit into third, and Oven has just decided to hit the afterburners like Vin Diesel reaching 20th gear in a Fast and the Furious movie.
Want to hear something that's sacrilegious in the world of motorsports?
Go on.
Never seen it. Never seen a Fast and Furious movie.
Well, I think that is actually whatever the anti-blasphemy or anti-sacrilegious is, because there is no authentic motorsport aspect to it. So you're
most
pure,
authentic.
You are pure, Dylan Coyle. Yes,
I am pure. Well, I know for a fact the most authentic and pure motorsports movie is absolutely Driven with Sylvester Stallone. So, I've actually never seen that either.
Neither have I. That's why I'm still pure as well. I've heard. I'm reliably informed it's that bad. Although, speaking of movies, 3 great movies: Talladega Nights, Stroke a Race,
great one.
Days of Thunder, all filmed here.
Great one. Yes, absolutely. And also my this site is the site of a win that we got with College Racing here, as these two drivers go side by side. Obviously, Fredrickson and Omen, both racing hard. Fredrickson's tires might be going off a little bit though right now. He's been on them for a lengthy amount of time, and Omen, he's maybe saved a little bit as there's almost some contact into the left rear. A battle for the lead. I think Helmbro was pushed up a little bit by the packing of the air on that left rear quarter panel. And now they're side by side. I think Uvenen's got that momentum that he needs. It's just about clearing the 77 of Helmbro. Helmbro has the momentum on the outside. A dive into the corner. It's not going to help on corner exit, but how about mid-corner and corner entry? Yes, sir, it does.
Slide job. Wonderful little slide up the road there and just shut the door down. I tell you what, Helmbro, he's not gonna let it go easy. So Uvenen to the race lead then for the first time in this Female Legends 500. And quite fitting that we use the word Legends, because Legends cars were born here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
True. Very fun cars if you ever get a chance to watch them in action. They're an enjoyable time. They do the summer shootout here at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the summer. Every week they'll have some races for a bunch of different age groups and a few different variations of a Legends car on that quarter mile track in the infield. It's cool.
We have a thriving Legends community in Scotland, actually, on the road course, on the Knockhill road course.
I would to see that. I would
It
love
is
to see
amazing. It is amazing. Really, really amazing.
that. On ice, too.
Oh my goodness, they drive them on ice. I thought they got pretty slippy on a wet not kill, but on a finish, frozen lake. I mean, can you imagine?
I would
Legends
love to
cars.
see it.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
I would
we're
love
going
to
on
see
tour. We're going on tour.
Let's do it.
Motor Racing Wonders of the World coming to you
You and
soon
I.
on Netflix. Yeah, with
hey,
Dylan and Peter.
We've got a pitch for Netflix. That's all.
Well, let's do it. Let's do it. We'll meet after. We'll get our PowerPoint ready and everything. Uvinen leading the way from Helmbro, and they've got a big old gap back, 2.4 seconds back to Solander and Fredriksson, who both sort of faded away, but really stretched out a little bit now. Oman in 5th, then Holmer 6th, Broström still in 7th, and after that incident, which Jesper Eriksson got caught up in, he's moved up a couple of places, but time-wise hasn't been able to make much of an impression on the lead. So I think we could get, I think we're going to get ourselves a new winner here as things stand right now. But as things stand right now, 42 laps to go, quite different. A lot of takers coming into pit lane now, including Oscar Fredriksson, who could not make it last any longer.
Yeah, and right about now is maybe on the earlier side of drivers who came in during that pit cycle when I thought they'd come into the pits. You know, I said like 37 or so laps to go. So this does make sense for some who feel like they push so hard that they just can't last any longer, and they'll deal with that at the end of the race if it comes up. But this is where we're going to see a ton of pit stops happen. Everyone on every strategy, I think, is going to come down right around this point in the race within the next 5-10 laps. Absolutely.
It's going to be really interesting because you're going to see
busy.
It's going to be busy. You're going to see drivers coming in and out the pits on completely different programs, brand new tires, really old tires, and you mix them all up, you might get yourself some incidents, and therefore a caution. And the thing is, if you get caught the wrong side of a caution, it can just ruin your race right there with 39 laps to go of this 1.5-mile circuit. What a thriller we've had here in this Female Legends 500. Broström down pit road now, Dylan.
I like it. Why not? He's got a really solid chance to win this race, so might as well be a little bit aggressive with your maneuvering, and it's not that aggressive. I do expect everybody else to come in again within the next couple laps, and why not go for an undercut here?
Yeah, I think this could be interesting from Broström, because he then might get some clear running when others come to the pits. He then really gets on with it with those new tyres. Off he goes then. Daniel Holmer bringing the Bright Esports Chevrolet down pit road, as is Daniel Solo in the Alcantech Ford Mustang, who's run a lot at the front of the field in that middle part of the race, but it put a bit of a target on his back after that incident with Hagman a little bit earlier on, who's classified as 10 laps down. Tony Uvinen in from the lead then. So yes, that pit stop there from Broström has kicked off that a flurry of pit stops. Yeah,
absolutely. It has certainly started the trek for most of these drivers down, and I think that, you know, it makes sense for all of them to come down now. As a car comes off the outside wall. Now, the only thing that I would keep a driver from maybe going into the pits right now is worrying about the chaos that'll come from this pit cycle with cars on different stints and lengths of tires. Maybe it makes sense to, you know, if you're already in the back, to just wait it out a bit until you can't run anymore. Some drivers will do that because they can, right? Some of the drivers still have another 15-20 laps of fuel remaining in the tank. So the odds of a caution coming out at this point of the race with them staying out, I don't think it's a I don't think it's a bad idea.
Well, we'll see. So the 101 of Hackenshock comes in after a 56 lap run, so really stretching that tank as far as it will go. Remember, running an 80% fuel cell here in this championship, and 5 sets of tyres. You've got to make it last a maximum of 208 laps, so you really got to be tactical on how you use them and not use them up too early, so you've got tyres in hand for that charge. to the flag. So you're leading 4 cars now. Helmbro, Silander, Oman, and Bjorn Brostrom are all sitting around the 40 lap mark on their stint. So they're heading in the next 10 to 15 laps or so towards the end of their fuel and, of course, their tyre life. So their pace is likely to drop off quite dramatically in this next phase of things. What would a caution do now to them? Does it help them? Does it hinder them?
I mean, if does it hinder them if they stay out? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, if they keep going.
Yes, but it's a risk for some of the drivers, right? Some of the drivers who are in the back, it's less of a risk for the drivers in front. I think they're trying to cover if there is a caution, but the longer you run up front, the more of a chance you're going to lose out spots when you come back out on track. So, yeah, it is a bit of a risk, but you can save yourself if a caution comes out, an ill-timed caution. So it's a hard decision to make. It's not simple, but it's if we get to lap 15 to go, another 17 or so laps, and we're still green for the next 17 laps, then it will have been an easier decision. But unfortunately, this is going to be a scary next 17.
Lots of questions which don't have an answer. Fascinating. 32, in fact, let's make it 31 laps to go here for Andre Silander, who's now back in the lead of the race. He's on older tyres. He's on 43-lap old tyres. We saw him absolutely rocket to the front after the restart and used all the grip early and got himself into the lead of the race in remarkably quick time, but then faded back a little bit. But he's now filtered to the front of the race. He'll be hoping that if there is a caution, it falls in the right way for him. But Tony Uvinen is right behind him, but is a lap down. So Silander and Oman are the only drivers on the lead lap at the moment. But Uvinen, of course, is on fresh tyres, and that is your visual representation. The white, yellow, and black Chevy of Tony Uvinen just drives past Silander like one's in a Cup car and one's in an Xfinity car.
Yeah, and
there we go.
Silander actually just hit the wall, so maybe it was a good choice to come in now. Now your worry is Ullman, who I believe is the last one to not make a pit stop. And at this point, if he doesn't come in now, I'm worried for his long-term prospects. If everyone came in, if there was a caution right now, that'd be great. He's trying to get slowed down, and yeah, so smart to go in. Maybe I don't know if he called it out, but.
Caution!
Caution! That's perfect! That's perfect! Oh my goodness! Lucas Holmgren is around. That is so perfect for Oman.
He couldn't have timed that much better, could he? Wow.
And he was in the pits when the caution came out. He's going to retain P1.
Yes, with all fresh tires.
He was just given the golden goose.
That's go and buy a lottery ticket. Yeah, for that 42. That is a proper tiger print on that car, on that Alcantech Ford. I love it. So this means then 28 laps to go. We will be, with 28 laps to go, we will, if we stay green, then Oman will have enough fuel on board. But we're getting reports down from pit lane, Dylan, that Oman did not stop in his box. Was he serving a drive-through penalty?
Oh, if that's the case, then he just...
no
way.
He didn't stop.
Why did he not stop? He did not have a Did he not enter the pits before... So here's my concern. Maybe he did not enter the pits before... What is going on? Did he
run out of fuel? No.
So my only question is, did he enter the pits when the caution light came on? If we can catch a replay of the caution of him entering the pits, and then if we see a caution light come on before he goes over the cone, then that would mean that he entered a closed pit and it should
couldn't
be
stop.
okay because he didn't stop. But then he would have to come down again. The question is, why did he give up a few spots entering the pits? I'm not sure.
Maybe he was really close on fuel, maybe?
But maybe. But if he entered a closed pit, didn't stop, he shouldn't be penalized.
Yes.
But Omen is serving. Is he serving a drive-through right now?
He's serving a penalty in the box right now.
Why?
He's sitting in the box. I don't know.
Yikes.
Oh, wow. So if he did enter that closed pit, it must have been a matter of seconds. 2 or 3 seconds max.
But he didn't pit.
Well, that's what I mean. If it had the light gone on just as he was coming in when it was too late to duck out of it. Wow. What drama here in this Female Legends 500. 27 laps to go, and we'll be going back green flag racing in a few laps time. As a few drivers take their opportunity to fill up with fuel and change tires too. So we're going to take a look then and see if we can piece this together. So here we go. What are we there? 5 meters, and the green light on in the background. And here we go in freeze frame.
No.
Great. No way. And it's way too late to duck out of it. Of course, he's already in the lane, just not past the cone. That went from being the best luck to the worst luck in a split second.
Absolutely did. So, man, oh man, the fact that he was penalized is interesting to me, because usually in NASCAR competition, it is set up where if you're in a situation like that and you enter the pits, as long as you don't stop, you're good. In iRacing, it might be, I've never been in this situation in iRacing before. What it looks like it is, is potentially, I mean, it doesn't look like he's serving a penalty. So as long as he didn't stop, maybe it was that case. He falls to 6th. Maybe he just had to be a few more seconds. I'm not sure why he stopped entering pit road. That's my only question mark. Nonetheless, he only lost what appears to be 5 spots from the whole endeavor. Could have been a lot worse. It could have been a little better. All in all, it wasn't awful.
Could it be that he could have even been a lap ahead of everybody else if that hadn't have happened? But let's have a look and see what triggered the caution. Lucas Holmgren trying to make his way through a bit of slower traffic, gets into it pretty hard, and then gets turned hard in the wall. That's a big hit.
Well.
Scratching of chin.
I'm expecting more cautions at this point.
Yes, I think we will. And the lights are off on the pace truck, and we have a fairly depleted field, it must be said. We started with 26 cars, and taking, there are other cars, other points of the racetrack or in the pits or whatever. There they are. Come on, catch up, guys. As we get ready to go back to racing, 25 laps to go of this 1.5-mile masterpiece here at Charlotte. As the sun sets, it doesn't get much better. We've got the action here for you on RaceSpotTV. Peter Mackay and Dylan Coyle about to call the action. Let's go. Green flag is being prepared, and it's going to be Tony Uvinen who leads us back to racing alongside the 112 Chevy Camaro of Oscar Fredrickson. Green, and Uvinen gets a big launch there in the Camaro and scoots off into the lead. Helmbro in the 77 Mustang goes down and moves into second quite quickly, so a little bit of a snoozing start there for Fredrickson.
Now it's time to just settle back in. There's going to be runs coming from behind you. Just understanding that it's okay. You still have second. Brostrom slides up a bit, almost hits Fredrickson coming out of 4. We're coming to 23 laps to go here.
Yeah, 23 to go then, about half a minute round each lap, so not long left in this race as Linus Brostrom makes a big move, power move, up to the third. We've been talking about his pace all race long, and is this where he shows it? It's really a kind of no-holds-barred race to the flag, but Broström, he's the man with the freshest tyres on board right now. So will we see that number 71 Chevrolet Forge to the front now for Broström? Oh, up they go through the dog leg then, and here comes Broström then. He just sees a gap, and the gap closes as Helmbro moves down to the bottom line then. Broström going to have to make it work another way.
Yeah, Broström is going to have to make a move very soon on Helmbro if he wants a shot at Övinen. Övinen's not getting away as quickly as his start was, so that is a saving grace for everybody in behind. But, I mean, Broström, he smells the win. He senses it. It's in the books. It's in the cards. It's just a matter of, is he going to be able to get past Helmbro? It's a difference to catch and pass, right? He's got a lot of momentum coming out of 2, though, and a big block down the backstretch by Helmbro. Broström goes up high. They're side by side into 3.
Oh, that was a big old block, wasn't it, there? So Broström gets the door slammed in his face. And, well, with yellow, if we get another yellow flag, if we get another caution, we will go to the time limit. It's very, very close whether we'll get the whole 208 laps or whether we go to time limit. So the maximum is 20 laps to go. So if you want to win this race, you've got to get moving. And that's what Linus Broström is trying to do. Tony Övinen is looking in the mirror going, yes, keep doing that, guys. That's great. That really helps me if you're going to be battling away. But Broström really digging deep here as they head through. It's going to be 19 laps to go here in Charlotte.
19 to go in Charlotte. That'll end and go by so quickly. I mean, this is a great battle, though. You got to imagine that Broström is using up all the tires right now. I mean, yeah, there's no point to hold them or save them at this point. Definitely going to be fun here.
Yeah, it's going to be super, super fun here for this run to the flag. And now they're dipping under that magic 30-second marker now. So they're really pushing harder than we saw earlier in the race. As you rightly say, Dylan, it's all about using up that tyre. You don't need to make it last the full 50 laps. You can make it last 20, 25 to get it to the end. But it's Övinen now under a lot of pressure from the number 77 Ford for Force Esports of Peter Helmbro. And Helmbro taking big risks, going right up to the cushion and then trying to make that work, and they almost touch as they almost converge together. Oh, close. Helmbro to the front. Helmbro then hits the front here with 17 to go, but Broström going up the high side as well. So Helmbro goes down low, and Broström, he's going to try and go right around the outside of Övinen and makes it happen. So Övinen loses 2 positions in 2 corners.
Oh, goodness me. Not the move for Övinen, but Helmbro and Övinen almost coming together. Look at how tight these two are, Fredriksson and Holmer. I feel like Fredriksson's just trying to pinch everybody down from the outside. I mean, anyone in this top group can win this race. It's just a matter of setting yourself up for the final 5 or so laps. Contact! 3 wide. Are they going to all hold it? They're going to save it. Coming down the backstretch. Still, we could have calamity here. 3 by 1, going into 3. Let's get that a little bit more settled into 2.
Oh, this is getting tense now. Really tense now as we head into this final stage then. 15 laps to go here at Charlotte. It's Helmbro who leads then from Broström. Övinen in there as well. Then there's a bit of a gap back to the 79 of Holmer, who's just gone past Fredriksson in the 112 car. Then look out for Oman, who it could have all been so good for him with that just 5 meters away from getting into the pits before the yellow came out, but he's still there in the hunt of sorts. Salander as well, we knew how quick he could be when he's got good tires on the car. 14 to go here at Charlotte with Helmbro from Broström, and Broström going to try and make a move for the lead now.
Yeah, big move. Broström's gonna have momentum down the back straight, exiting 2. Helmbro can only block so much because Broström has that speed. He slides down. Oh, he's gonna have to get out of the throttle here, apply some brake for some rotation mid-corner. They almost touch. I think they might have.
Oh, there was, yeah, maybe a slight. Oh, that's a bigger one, though. Oh, it's getting fierce now at the front here. They're playing for keeps in the Female Legends 500 here at Charlotte in the Svenska Eracingligan. And Brostrom going to try and make the move now. Down the low side is Helmbro. He commits to the top line there as well. They're absolutely neck and neck as they go up the banking, and Oven are now going to try and set up some kind of run, and guess who's come onto the scene? It's the number 79 Chevrolet of Homer as they come through the dogleg. Brostrom, is he going to be classified as the leader coming here through? Oh, he is right now, just got a nose ahead, but can he make the move stick? Well, he needs to look behind him, because here comes the 79 of Homer who's getting a run.
This is unbelievable pack racing. It's like we're at a super speedway. Just keep it out of the wall and keep it out of each other. 2 by 2. Unbelievable.
Oh, it is like a super speedway race, but got the character of a bull ring. It's fantastic here, racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Brostrom, runs up hard up the racetrack, and well, it's just crowding out Helmbro a lot. And here comes now on the tight line Homer and the 79. They're 3 wide for the lead of the Female Legends 500. Oh, it's going up high again. It's Brostrom. Helmbro's got very little room to the cushion, and into the lead then goes the 79 of Homer and the Chevrolet.
Unbelievable racing. This is some of the best racing you could ask for in the Svenska, the Bohlin Svenska Eracingligan. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Oh, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So now we've got 2 Chevrolets in the lead, but the Ford of Helmbro is not going to give up. Neither is the Chevrolet of Ovanen with 9.5 laps to go here. Just 1.5 miles, the distance of a lap here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're staying green for now. Over the line then, Homer, Brostrom, and Ovanen now going to try and make a move for a third. So has the Ford, the 77 of Helmbro. Has he run out of puff?
Man, this is just unbelievable. Almost coming together on the exit of turn 2. I mean, now if you're Homer, you run away. You run away as best you can. You and Brostrom just get away from Helmbro, from Ovanen. But Brostrom is going to be a struggle here. He's going to want this win with 8 to go.
Yeah, but has Homer gone too early? Has Homer used up too much life to get to the front? Has Brostrom got anything left? We've seen Brostrom running it pretty hard, and actually looks like he's suffering a little bit with a tight race car there, just pushing a little bit up high on the road. Is that going to hold Brostrom back? Meanwhile, side by side for third as the Ford of Helmbro snips the nose off then of Ovanen in the 84 Chevrolet. 7 laps to go here at Charlotte. We're coming to a real dramatic crescendo.
I think the bell is not yet rung. I don't think we have found the final twist in this tale. The fact that we're still running side by side and we're running at top speeds is unbelievable right now. These are drivers we don't always see from up, battling for the win late, and these drivers are putting on a heck of a show. Do we stay green the rest of the way?
Well, with every passing lap, it gets more likely. And I tell you what, fantastic racing respect from these Swedish sim racing aces, running at such close quarters on a really difficult racetrack. Is a little bit of a change there with the Alcantech car. Selander going past his teammate Oman. Meanwhile, they're still side by side for third. They're millimeters away from one another and still running strong. Helmbro trying to make that outside line work, that high line work over Ovanen, and he's committed to the bottom line. They're still side by side, showing that either one can work. But all while this has been going on, they've lost 2 seconds to Homer and Brostrom. Is this a head-to-head battle now between Homer and Brostrom with 4.5 laps to go?
I mean, the problem is this battle has led to these two and everybody else being at minimum 2.5 seconds behind the lead of the race. So it's a 2-car battle for the win, but for that final podium spot, it's anyone's game. And for the top 5, I mean, it really is anybody's race, anybody's game. Well,
these drivers all fighting for, like you say, for the top 3 and the top 5. they'll be just hoping for a late caution and then getting a chance to have a run at it at Holmer and Brostrom. But they've bet on there not being a caution. They've used up their tire life as much as they can to make a break from this group. And Ovinen finally gets the edge and moves into third position, then goes past Helmbro, and there's 3 laps to go here at Charlotte, just 4.5 miles. Gonna need, well, maybe about, should we say, a gallon of fuel, something like that. That's all you need to get you to the finish now. Fuel not going to be an issue though with that caution that came out just 20 laps ago or so. And it's going to be Holmer versus Brostrom then. 2.5 laps to go. Chevrolet versus Chevrolet. Who's going to come out on top?
Yeah, this is wild, and I think Holmer is definitely saying, please don't go to a caution here on this penultimate lap at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We are almost at that time limit, but I don't think we're going to hit it at all with just a lap and a corner to go. Is this Holmer's race? 3/10 behind is Linus Brostrom. I think it's only up to Holmer. If he can run a perfect lap here, he's got it.
Well, we've seen Ericsson win 4, Blixt win 2, and Havlidison win 1. It looks like we're going to have a new name added to the list of winners on the ovals here in the Svenska Eracingligan. Is it going to be Holmer? Is it going to be Brostrom? Brostrom throwing everything he's got it on this last lap, but is Holmer going to be able to hang on? It looks like he might. The 79 Chevrolet of Holmer is going to come to the line. Daniel Holmer is your winner here at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Female Legend 500.
Beautiful race. That is the kind of race that you want to put on as an advertisement for anything in iRacing. As Brostrom gives Holmer a few taps, a few bumps. That was good. That was fun. That is exactly what you want to show to anybody who wants to get into iRacing, oval racing, to broadcast partners. Just the perfect showcase for the sim. Yeah,
I agree. I totally agree. Just fantastic. A well-deserved win for Daniel Holmer. That was a game of chess, roulette, and bare knuckle boxing at times, all mixed into one. Such compelling entertainment here from these top Swedish sim racers, and the obligatory burnout and donuts for Daniel Holmer on the big tri-oval area here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. You think of the drivers who have had that celebration, and Holmer can add himself to that. Linus Brostrom there getting a little bit of involved in that celebration as well. Well, after all that, it was a Chevrolet 1, 2, 3, and Daniel Holmer, your winner, making it a Bright Esports 1-2 as well from his teammate Linus Brostrom. Tony Uvinen was third. Peter Helmbro for Forza Esports in his leading Ford Mustang was fourth. Oscar Fredriksson came home in fifth. Andre Selander was sixth, with Anton Oman. We ever see a closer call at pit lane than we saw at that last caution for Anton Oman? I doubt it. Daniel Solo came home in eighth. Haken Schott was ninth, and Robert Erling rounds out your top 10.
Continuing down the order. Oh, I'm sorry. I cut you off, Peter.
No, you go ahead. You go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Take
right.
her home.
Scotland will finish in 11th for Bright Esports with Anton Brothberg in P12. Jesper Eriksson recovered with a really damaged race car to be the last one on the lead lap in 13th. Bjorn Brostrom in 14th, 1 lap down, while everyone else 2 or more laps down. Robert Eriksson, Kenneth Thier, Cedric Holmbaum, Jonas Gunnarsson, as well as Eric Lundberg and Vilda Wallin, your top 20.
And your last few not making it to the flag on the lead lap: Kim Nyholm, Marcus Hagman, Alexander Arildsen, Michael Havlidison, Lucas Holmeren, and Henrik Lindhoff. A few big names there, finishing far down the order. Fastest lap went the way of Marcus Hagman, a 29.634. Well, we have some eager drivers who want to share the story of their race, and we want to hear it. Daniel Holmer, our winner here of the Female Legends 500. Daniel, warm welcome to the RaceSpotTV commentary booth. First of all, tell us how you're feeling after that one.
I'm feeling great. This is my first win in the SEL League, so I feel fantastic.
Well, as you should. I mean, tell us about the story of the race, because it seemed to go from our seat here in the commentary booth that it went through so many different phases. Tell us about the story of your race and how it changed.
I start off with I did try to save the tires and try to keep the other guys on the inside. Were on the tires, but I don't know really what to say.
Hopefully you're going to make a habit of this coming in to speak to us, Daniel. Tell us about those last few laps. It seemed that you and Linus made a great breakaway in those last few laps, but what was the game plan there with you two?
Oh, when the last yellow came out, we have one set of tires left, me and Linus, so we did go for it. So it paid off pretty well. We did build a gap when we turned out to be first and second, so happy.
Well, you fully deserve it, Daniel. You are our winner of the Female Legends 500. Go and celebrate.
Thank you. I will.
So let's get a word then with the man who finished in second position, Linus Brostrom. Linus, you had such fantastic pace all race long, but came up one short. Tell us the story of your race.
Yeah, one short again. But that was overall for Bright Esports. That race was amazing. My Harps's win Chevrolet was great towards the end, and early on tire saving was key. And I felt like I did what I could and had a good run at the end of the first stage. And then the second stage was all about just I pushed too much early on. So at the end of that run, I was losing too much. But then on the final run, again, all about trying to save tires and people who went on different strategies. So when that last caution came, me and Holmer thought like, this is our chance to win. If we get another caution, we might lose. But if we don't pit here, we're not going to win this race. So we took a gamble and it worked out. Unfortunately, I had to push way too hard to pass Peter there at the end, which let Holmer get past, and I can get back past him. But still, his first ever win in Svenska Eracingligan and a 1-2 for Bright Esports. I think Force Esports and Alcantech combined for a winning streak of like 3 straight seasons. So that streak is finally over at least, and still nice to be 1-2 for the team as well.
It's pretty good all round, because I know the work that you put in behind the scene, Linus, to make this great league happen. I think when you watch the race back, you're going to have some entertainment. I can promise you that. You were in the heat of it, but it made great viewing as well. Congratulations on the 1-2 for the team, and good luck for the next round.
Thank you, guys.
So that is all we have time for here on RaceSpotTV. We hope you enjoyed this broadcast here of the Svenska Eracingligan, but the racing continues on through. You can see your schedule there, so hit pause and pop all those dates into your calendars, because, well, if it's anything like that race there in Charlotte Motor Speedway, it's one you never want to miss here. At RaceSpotTV, we've got so many different categories of sim racing and motorsport, from open wheelers, stock cars, you name it, we've got it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and enjoy the coverage. But from us all here at RaceSpotTV, we thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Good night.
Behöver du en bil? Mabe hyrbilar finns på över 150 platser i landet och vi har nästan lika många modeller att välja på. Mabe hyrbilar. Hyrbilar som passar dig.
Hos Bright Esports i Västerås kan du testa på både Nascar och olika formulabilar, precis som Svenska Eracingligan deltagare. Gå in på brightesports.com och boka just din tid.